Alrighty, take me out to the ball game, take me out to the crowd, buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. Okay, this is Homer Cocktail 14 Fantasy Sports. What we're going to do here is recap this past year in fantasy baseball, and basically what we're going to talk about is that 6 out of 15 teams that I was playing with that you could check out here in the archive. 6 out of my 15 teams finished number one. Number one! Oh, yeah. Alright. So, I had 13 head-to-head teams and 2 roto teams. Of the 13 head-to-head, I had 5 championships. And of the 2 rotos, one of them finished first, one of them finished second. Out of my 15 teams, and Roto doesn't have that. Roto short for rotisserie. Roto doesn't have playoffs, but only one team missed the playoffs, and I was a little disappointed. It's the very first team that drafted. It drafted in let's see, it's called the Slammers, right there. The Slammers drafted on February 12th, right when everything kicked off, and I picked Josh Johnson and Adam Wainwright. Both of them came off Tommy John surgery, and Jacoby Ellsbury got injured, and those are some of my high picks, and it took a long time to recover, and my goal was to get the playoffs. I missed it, and I should be talking about the other 14 that did very well. But let's recap the strategy that I had this year that I've talked about. I have a couple of draft videos. One that talks about generalities, and one that specifically picked a team. I emphasize relief pitching, RP right there. Okay, try to hoard the best of the best relief pitchers. And that Slammers team had Rivera, by the way, who I think he had Rivera, who went out early. A lot. Bailey from the Red Sox went out early. Axford, I want to say, was injured most of the year. There's a lot of injuries. I used my waiver wire as my hitting bench. Okay. I hate guessing who's going to be hot and who's not. I'd rather use that on pitchers, and you got to stay active the whole year. If you're gonna use your the rest of your players as starters. So let's see here. 13 of the 15 worst finish, okay, was third place. Out of the 15 teams, I finished no worse than third. Okay, and then one of them finished fifth, one of them finished seventh, and that was the Slammers. The Slammers barely missed the playoffs, or not barely, but they were one slot short. And we'll get to that. So to do all these things, I had 4 Yahoo accounts I was working with. Okay, I had the Freaks, the Golden Bears. I didn't have room, so I just shortened it. Freaks, Golden Bears, Invisible, Slammers on one. Furies, Dukes, Romeos, and Skunks on another. Thylacines, 8-tracks, Regulars, and Mascots. And finally, the Hordax, Godzillas, and the Smashers. So, as it turns out, in each of these quadrants, I had at least one championship. Okay, the Freaks finished number 1 over here. The Furies finished number 1 right there. I had 2 championships down here with the Thylacines and the Mascots. And right here, one of the Smashers was a Roto, and the Godzillas was a head-to-head. I had 2 here as well. 2 there, 2 here. 1 and 1. That makes it the 6. And then, let's see, the Bears, Golden Bears finished 3rd. Visible's 3rd. Slammer 7th. Over here, we had the Albuquerque Dukes finished 5th. That was my 5th place one. Romeo's 3rd. Uh, the asterisk means rotisserie. That's actually Thunder Skunks. Finished second. That was a good league. A lot of active. The top three were very active, including myself. And over here, the 8-tracks finished third, and the regulars finished third. The 8-tracks had this funny guy. I beat him 9-0 in the final week. He's always hitting me up for trades and hitting everyone up for trades the whole year. And eventually we did some trades, and they favored me in that final week. Okay, the Horde Axe finished second right there. And the day going into the final day of the season, I was actually ahead, so I almost had 7 championships instead of 6. Okay. So the final summary. Okay, the final summary. First place. I had 6 teams finishing first out of 15. There were 2 that finished in second, 5 that finished in third. So, obviously I had a 5th and a 7th. But I'd say that was a good season. That was a pretty good season there. Alrighty. So now we're going to go back and actually... anyone could say that they did all this stuff. And now we're going to go for the proof. The verification here. And these are screenshots that I took very early this morning. So you got the freaks here. Can you see that? Okay, the focus is not that good. But the freaks, 1 out of 12. I thought the resolution would be better. Cal Golden Bears, 3 out of 12. Invisibles, 3 out of 12. And the Slammers, right there at the bottom, 7 out of 12. And my final week, these things weren't even close. The Freaks won 9-1 here. And I won 6-3, 162. So I finished strong. So here's the Freaks, number 1. And I beat the Taipei Tigers right there. Finished third with the Cal Golden Bears. And my last game, I won 13-2. It's hard to see because, I don't know why. I could see this clearly, but it's not doing well for going phones a pad here. The Invisibles finished third. And I won 63 on my final week there. And the Roto, well, actually, no, where comes that later? The Slammers, I just want to show that I was way under 500, but I finished 99, 109, and 12. And I placed, I wound up 7th. And my last game, my last week, I was 7-3 there. So yeah, Slammer 7-3 in a consolation game. But going to one of my other accounts, this is the one I'm talking about where it's a Roto. Finished 2 out of 12, the Thunder Skunks. But the Furies won the championship there, 1 out of 12. Albuquerque Dukes. I lost my first round game there, 6-7. But my final game, I won 10-3 there. So I barely missed another at least shot at 3rd or 4th place. But finished 12th, or 5 out of 12. Romeos, 3 out of 12. I drafted the Romeos on Valentine's Day, so that's why I did that. Furies, number 1. And they won 8-1 in their last week against the Bomb Squad. And then right here, my 5th place game. Let's see here. Am I even mentioned? Oh, it's down here. Let's see. But the resolution's not that good, but the Albuquerque Dukes are down there at 5th. And the Eugene Emeralds finished first there. I've been in that league for a few years, by the way. I've been doing this for 3 years. I think I've been in that for 3 years now. The Romeos finished 3rd. And I won my last game 8-2. So finished strong, finished very strong. And obviously on the roto, there's me at second. See, finished second there. So let's go to another one where the thylacines and the mascots down here both finished first. The top and the very bottom, the Atrax finished third, and the regulars finished third. And I did real good. Like I said, the Atrax won 9-0, and the thylacines 19-9. The regulars won 8-2, and the mascots 8-1. So, seemed to get stronger toward the end of the year. And there's thylacines number 1, and Atrax number 3, and got the regulars at number 3, finished third. And the mascots, number 1. I did a draft video that was about an hour long or so. And then the commissioner, because it was a private league, deleted that whole league. So the mascots wind up taking that spot. So finally we have 3 more teams. At the bottom we have the Smashers. And they finished first in the Roto League. And the Horde finished second. And the Godzillas finished first. So this is just a recap. Got the Horde right there at second. And like I said, I only lost 6-4. And I was leading going into the final game. And the other guy had Ivan Lagoria, who hit 3 home runs. And he had, I think, Cabrera, who won the Triple Crown. And his team just got hot, and it was, it was very crazy. But here's the Godzillas at number 1, and I won 6-2, and obviously 2 ties. So the Smashers, last but not least, the top of the heap there, 110 points. The guy next to me down had 92, and below that 86. So that does it. That does it, baby. We got Fantasy Sports from Homer Cocktail 14, and that's a recap of the 2012 Major League Baseball fantasy season. You guys have a good time. Woo!